22 minutes before the top of the hour, dozens of social grant beneficiaries who get their payment from ATMs were left empty-handed on Monday and yesterday as well when they tried to collect their money. The South African Social Security Agency, or SASSA, said on Tuesday that it experienced difficulties with electronic payments on Monday, but beneficiaries will be paid in full in the next few days. Another difficulty was the strike action at SASSA, where they and the Public Servants Association, or the PSA, could not reach an agreement on wage increments. Joining us now from our Pretoria studio, we are joined by Abraham Mahlangu, who is the acting CEO of the South African Social Security Agency. Thank you very, very much for joining us and welcome to Morning Live.
Good morning to you and good morning to the viewers and the listeners out there.
Yeah, this is not the first time we're hosting you. In fact, I even saw you last night. You were also on our news program, Primetime, last night, coming in, urging everybody, saying that they will get their money on time. This is obviously before the problems were experienced this week. Yet, SASSA experiencing payment difficulties on Monday and yesterday and attributing to it to the change from the old to the new. What went wrong? What happened?
Thank you very much, and I would like to start by apologizing to our beneficiaries who were affected by this transition, changing from the old system to the new system. This affects only about 700,000 beneficiaries who were issued with a new SASSA card, which is used to pay grants via the new South African Post Office system. And these beneficiaries were, at a single instant trying to access their grants, and the system actually was under strain, and that is why they couldn't access their grants. But we have worked tirelessly and we have found solution about the system. As of this morning, we expect improvement in the processing speed of the system that was being strained by the huge volumes of these beneficiaries. I just want to mention that as at the end of May, there were about 233,000 beneficiaries transacting through the post office system, but that number has grown to 960-something thousand. So that has actually strained the system. But having looked at the diagnosed the problem, found it, we have worked hard even over the night. We are expecting great improvement over the course of the morning today.
So, look, we've got a couple of our reporters out and about. We're hoping to get hold, particularly of one of our reporters, Zimkita, who is already seeing long queues that have been formed everywhere and still beneficiaries struggling at this point to access their funds. Could you not predict? How did you not foresee that the demand was there? You had the numbers, you knew that the money needed to be withdrawn. Many people trying to access funds, and the post office or ATM saying, sorry, but there is no available funds.
The monies were paid into the beneficiaries' cards or accounts. The issue became the access point where they tried to slot in their cards in point of sales, in some merchants, particularly in the spa franchises, where the card was being rejected. And that's a technical glitch that we experienced. But in other merchants and retailers, they were actually able to transact. As I indicated, that is about 700,000 of these people that were affected. We did test the system in May already. We started piloting the system and it worked well. It is just the huge volumes that actually came through during the course of the beginning of this month, the payment cycle, that has strained the system. And we apologize for that inconvenience, and we definitely have worked hard to find a solution to improve the processing speed of our system.
Yeah, we appreciate you apologizing, we really do. But, at the end of the day, the people that are suffering right now are the poorest of the poor, that have so many people dependent on this grant that they are getting. And, you know, when you talk about 1 or 2 or 3 or maybe 4 days late, this is a dire situation for them. This is food that they won't be eating for that long. Already I'm looking at photographs of people that are queuing and have been queuing since the early hours of this morning, desperate to just get their hands on money so that they can actually buy some food, not only for themselves but their entire families. And this is the vulnerable that we're talking about here. So where are the assurances that this now will be sorted out? And I know you say you were working on the systems last night, but when is the deadline? When can we say, yes, okay, by today or tomorrow, everything will be sorted out?
We have made an undertaking that in the next 2 to 3 days, we will have sorted out the problem. However, I want to say to our beneficiaries, and I've already discussed the matter with our regional management, that by midday today, we'll be monitoring this particular progress in the improved system, and we will activate relief measures. Our people will not go home hungry today. If they do not access their funds, we will activate relief measures to make sure that they at least have something to eat today.
What relief measures are those? Can you inform us about what you're planning on doing?
Well, we have got options of activating relief measures. It can come in the form of food vouchers that can be given immediately to the beneficiaries, and they can actually exchange them for food in these instances.
Yeah. Have you circulated those food vouchers? Because the reports that we're getting is that people will walk into post offices or they'll go somewhere, not get the funds, and in fact the staff there will be very, very rude to try and ensure that they leave, and they leave empty-handed. So you make this promise, but is this promise being fulfilled? We are talking about the relief measures as of today, past midday. We are saying that we are going to be strictly monitoring the progress of the improved system, and by midday, if there is an indication that there is still huge lines of people or queues of people that are not getting assisted, we will activate the relief measures that I'm talking about. And our regional teams will be working hard at getting close to all the areas that are affected as we speak now, to make sure that past midday we begin to activate those measures. Okay, let's move on to another issue, and that being the issue of reports coming out of the Banking Association of South Africa is basically investigating the conduct of SASSA and SAPO, that's the post office, regarding the opening of new accounts. Can you elaborate a little bit on this?
Can you repeat the question? You're saying that BankServ is investigating the opening of new accounts?
Yeah, the conduct. The Banking Association of South Africa saying that they are investigating the conduct of SASSA and the South African Post Office regarding the opening of new accounts. Are you aware of this? Can you elaborate on this for us?
In fact, just yesterday we had a meeting with the Banking Association of South Africa, in which we were looking at ways in which we can collaborate with banks to continue providing services in the payment of grants value chain. I was not aware of an investigation into any conduct, because we had a meeting with them just yesterday, and we were not aware of any of such.
So you're not aware of any investigation whatsoever from the Banking Association. So we'll speak to them, get them on, and find out what that investigation is all about. But you know nothing about it as you sit there.
No, at least it didn't show up at our meeting that we had with the CEO of BASA.
Okay, let's take a very quick break. We've got lots of questions from viewers, and I also want to talk about the Grindrod issue and also a strike by some of your employees as well, those that are with the PSA. So there's lots to talk about. Do stay tuned at Morning Live SABC. That's where you can get hold of us here on Morning Live. Stay tuned.